Good morning, and thank you for taking the time to be here today. Fresh Squeeze is a quick reminder that you can do the hard things for yourself and with your money, and a few quick tips to help you get started. Today's theme is focusing on physical and mental health. My name is Kelly Reddy-Heffner, and although there is no one-size-fits-all solution to your finances, you can start somewhere to work towards what you want to accomplish. Let's be honest, sometimes things get a bit out of sync for really fun reasons and also for reasons that we might not interpret as quite so fun. Fresh Squeezed was off last week because I was in the mountains of Vermont and I had very little internet access, something, to be honest, that I am not quite used to. But I love this time of year. One of my good friends has called my quick fall getaway my fall reset, and I like that term. A visit to changing leaf colors, dropping temperatures, ushers in a transition to a different mindset, a new season, complete with pumpkins. Well, pumpkins. I am biased. I am one of those people. But home decor, wardrobe changes, puzzles, other activities, favorite foods and beverages, moving into rotation, and definitely very fun. But the days before and after the trip were a little unsettled this year. Definitely not as fun as finding the perfect flannel from the Vermont Flannel Company or trying a maple latte. There's been a lot of change happening in my own household, and maybe you've experienced that over the last couple months as well. The year has seemed to fly by. So for me, routines and systems that I've had in place for years that seem to be running smoothly were all of a sudden having a lot of hiccups, and it was causing me a little bit of stress, if I'm being honest. I probably should have expected it. After all, in my practice with clients and even here on Fresh Squeeze, I've talked about the ability to restart and pivot when needed and how important it is to simplify, implement 2 to 3 quick, easy, manageable steps, visualize what you want to accomplish and your process, assess, tweak, pivot, repeat. So it is a little surprising, but again, not really surprising at all when sometimes things just don't go according to plan and we maybe get a little bit out of sorts. But there were a lot of things happening at once, and it was challenging to navigate. So a couple of those things, and again, this may not mirror your list. You might have a couple things going on as well. But I'm going to share my list of the things going on because I think it's okay and actually really important to take a step back and think of the things that you have going on and evaluate how they're going. So running a business, it's got its own host of important lessons and learnings. So I know lots of business owners, so those ebbs and flows definitely have an impact. As for me, also parenting adult children who still have some financial dependence, but are fairly independent, is a unique balancing act. I love to give advice. It's what I do. But one of the lessons, even as a financial planner, is that skill of listening and understanding what someone needs. Are they really asking for your opinion, or do they want to talk about it and just have someone help them talk through it? They're not looking for you to solve it. So that has been such an interesting process, providing a safety net, but also giving room and freedom to fall and find a solution on their own. I have felt like time is sometimes a resource available in abundance, although much more rare, but more likely it's just not a moment to spare sometimes. And that can impact relationships, especially when others are in a little bit of a different space than you are and their routines and schedules are different. So finding compassion for yourself and for your friends and family so that the time spent is really enjoyed by everyone. And honestly, priorities change. What was important a year ago maybe isn't quite as important now, and new opportunities are more appealing and demanding of attention. So again, maybe you're experiencing some of these, maybe you've got a little bit of a list on your own. But my first step in my reset, which did not happen on my trip, but in the days following, was to take a look at what some of the things were that were happening and maybe causing me to feel a little unsettled. How do we embrace and thrive with change? Well, for me, I also had to take some time to think about the things that were most important. So my list includes daily time outdoors, walking my dog, hiking, biking. I have added yoga back into my weekly routine and stretching just to make sure everything's in great shape and feeling as comfortable as possible, especially spending a lot of time seated during the workday. Meals that nourish. So sometimes that can have different meanings, and some weeks nourishment has to take a different form. It's not really a well-prepared, loving meal, but meals that nourish with lower expectations. I love a daily checklist. So for me, that feels good, but I do need to be very reasonable about how many things I put on the list. So I've tried to do 2 to 3 big things, 2 to 3 small things, and keep it at that. I really find providing value to individuals and families that I work with super important. So that's a top priority for me, and making sure that I'm always learning and applying what I learn in practice. Being patient with change, it's hard. Being patient with myself as I navigate the change. And of course, being patient with others as they navigate their own circumstances and changes. And I'm sure you've maybe seen some of the social media conversation about this, but I kind of love it. So I'm gonna mention it here. Pause to see the glimmers every day. So I'm gonna share my current list of glimmers, and I would encourage you to notice yours today as well as you start the week. So I did get to spend several days in Vermont surrounded by beauty. There are some photos listed throughout this post, and they really don't do the experience justice at all. It was stunning, relaxing, perfect transition from summer to fall. I finished a negotiation course at Cornell and enjoyed the materials. I'm excited to apply that knowledge and process into practice. I am okay that the Steelers, I love how I use the word okay. I am more than okay that the Steelers lost to the Cowboys in Sunday Night Football, because I have literally no control over the outcome. If Snoop Dogg can wave a terrible towel and not impact the outcome of the game, I surely did not have any chance. The beautiful views of the aerial shots of the city after the rain delay are my lucky views that I have, so I am grateful for that. They had a favorite pumpkin beer by Brew Gentleman available at a local store over the weekend. I had a delicious cupcake that was decorated to perfection from Oakmont Bakery. I did a workout with Post Malone music and a strength workout that was really good and motivating. And I put sparkly lights on my porch pumpkins, and I am enjoying the sparkle immensely. Last thing was I spent time with family and some friends over the weekend, and it was great. Any moment I'm joyful for. So today's fresh bite, we can embrace the change and the pivot because a good foundation is in place. We can build a good foundation starting today if there isn't one in place. Today's the perfect day, and it doesn't have to be monumentous change. It can be small and incremental. In fact, that's encouraged and a lot easier to put into place. We can choose to change something that isn't working quite right, and our choice to change is ours and ours alone. We can be grateful for what is working and guiding us through the change. We can look for the good things around us and be excited that it does become easier to recognize good when we start looking for it. It will be easier to see more good. So enjoy the day, get out there and do the things. And thanks so much for tuning in. And I hope you see a lot of glimmers this week as well.